I'm Ed Rhodes. I'll be teaching our class on the foundations of American foreign policy this fall, which will be meeting for 4 weeks in October on Zoom. The underlying theme of the course is that since its founding in 1788, the United States has in fact pursued an exceptional foreign policy. Exceptional not in the sense of better, not in the sense of exceptionally good, but in the sense of different, in the sense of exception to the rule. When our republic's founders, the authors of our Constitution, looked at Europe, what they saw was the type of government they did not want to have. They saw a political society and a political system that in critical ways they thought was fundamentally flawed. And they wanted to create something that was the antithesis of the sovereign states that were emerging in Europe. What they wanted to do was to create something that was different, not simply in the sense of not being a monarchy, but different in terms of being centered on three frequently conflicting values. They wanted the American society and the American political system to be liberal, to be Republican, and to be democratic. And they realized that any one of these three things would be extraordinarily difficult to achieve. And the historical record, when anyone tried to achieve any two, much less any three of those at the same time, was dismal. So they realized the challenges were huge, and they realized that near the top on the list of challenges was going to be how a country and how a society like this could interact with the outside world without destroying itself and destroying its values. So from the very beginning, they realized that American foreign policy was going to have to be fundamentally different. Now, it would be nice to be able to claim that the aim of the founders was to create a more peaceful world or to ensure that the United States would always be a force for peace. That's not true. The aims of the founders were domestic. They were trying to create a certain type of society. And they recognized that was going to result in a foreign policy that was not only different, but also had some drawbacks and some negatives about it. Over the last 2.5 centuries, various labels have been applied to American foreign policy: isolationist, progressive imperialist, idealist. And each of these labels captures some elements of truth about American foreign policy, but they fail to capture, much less to elucidate, the fundamental logic of what American foreign policy has consistently been trying to do, and the consistent challenges and handicaps, extra concerns that American foreign policymakers have had to deal with. Anyway, what I think I can promise is that we will have a fun 4 weeks exploring the assumptions that American policymakers have made about human nature, about the purpose of government, about the nature of world politics, and seeing how, given these assumptions, the strange path of American foreign policy has evolved over the last 235 years. So I think it's going to be fascinating. It'll be fun. And it'll give us a different way to make a lot more sense out of an American foreign policy that has otherwise frequently seemed baffling. Thanks.